He's a 1,000,000-watt bulb that lights up every space he walks into. Infectious, charming, endearing, and energetic. Ranveer Singh can take you through 9 emotions in all of 90 seconds. Today, we are the lucky ones to be on his roller coaster. So fasten your seatbelts and gear up.
Before we begin the interview,
yes,
I have one question that I've been wanting to ask you since the time I've seen you.
Stop playing footsie with me, please. Can you stop distracting me? He's totally playing footsie with me right now.
That's the reason I've called him on the show.
Distracts me with this sexiness, and then he can ask me all these things and get the answers that he wants.
Yes, hopefully. So, Pucho, my question
Since you saw me on screen,
yes,
which is 3.5 years ago.
What did you ask?
You waited 3.5 years to ask me one question.
Yes, which is that is it possible for Ranveer Singh to sit for 120 seconds without moving his face or his body?
Will you give me a chocolate if I sit here for 120 seconds?
Too much more than a chocolate, but this is not a space to sit quiet really.
Challenge.
Yes, challenge.
So this is a place not to sit quiet.
Yes.
So this is for badbad.
Yes.
Or gupshup.
Yes.
So let's do.
What?
Gupshup, gupshup.
Gupshup.
Gupshup, 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 gupshup. Badbad.
You'll get me out of my job.
Okay, sorry. Come. Come on. Let's get down to business, serious business.
Which is, so is it possible for you to be quiet? Because I've never seen you sitting in one place without like movement for more than 30 seconds.
I am the restless type. It is quite a task to get that therav. You know, this word therav has been like the bane in my life ever since I started. It's like directors say, you know, this is that therav, you need that therav. So that's why I did a movie like Lutera, you know, I tried it, therav. Who knows, may have worked.
And the story is that, you know, even your entry into the film industry was sort of a gate crashing because you gate crashed a party and...
That was you could say that was the first in. Yeah, that was. I was like 16 years old and, you know, I was in junior college and one day Sikandar actually, he said, what are you doing? Let's go for a party. I was like, oh, let's go for a party. So it turned out to be Shad Ali's party. It turned out to be a Ram Lakhan theme party, if you please. So when I entered, you enter Shad's house and there the dance floor was, you know, demarcated over there and there's Shanu Sharma going, dinda, dinda, so I was like, yeah, this is totally my scene. So we went inside and I met Shanu there for the first time. We got along like a house on fire, as I did with Shad as well. But Shanu that night, she was like, you know, you have, you're really, I mean, you should be like an actor, because I was dancing, you know, Ram Lakhan songs are playing, so I'll dance. And that kind of stuck in my head. But it wasn't till many years later that I actually decided, what the hell, I don't want to be like 35 years old and look back and say I should have taken my chances when I could, when I was 21 or 22. So at age 19, about 3 or 4 years later after I met Shanu, and while I was studying in America, I decided that, hey, what the hell, man, I want to take this chance. Who knows?
So, when you started again, restarted your struggle, so to speak, once you decided when you came back that you wanted to become an actor. How was that phase like? Was it difficult again because you had to make inroads again? And
yeah, it was hard because you don't know where to start. You've just decided that you want to be an actor in Hindi movies, but you don't really know anybody that well connected. You know, Shad was a very close friend of mine. So I asked Shad for a job as an assistant director. I said, let me at least get on a set and see how things work. And I worked with him for over 1.5 years. We used to do a lot of ads together. And so yeah, that's when I started meeting casting directors and producers and fellow actors and sort of getting in there.
But what about your family? Because it's not connected to movies.
Yeah.
How did they react when you first said you wanted to be an actor?
You know, they've been most supportive. I wish every person could have such a supportive family, such supportive parents. I think it was a very testing time because, you know, everybody has financial ups and downs like my family did. And that somehow coincided with my struggle period. And credit to my parents because in spite of everything they were going through and all the sacrifices that they had made and, you know, things like moving into a smaller house and, you know, to see them go through that and in spite of that, never for once say, I think it's time for you to contribute to the family kitty or maybe you should reconsider this acting thing and start getting a job that pays. Or at a time like that also, everything that I needed, whether it was any kind of like get my portfolio made or whatever it was, they always supported me. And I think it's because of the support of my parents that I was able to take these gambles that I speak of with my life and career.
It's not a very pleasant journey, and of course, when success comes, most of them say, "Yeah, it was great and it was a fab." I'm sure there were some moments where you felt that, "Oh my God, I mean, what is this place?" Initially, you face rejection. There are people who are not so kind to you.
You know, I faced rejection on the basis of the way I looked. Not so much because of my ability. I was told that I wasn't very good looking, or at least conventional. Maybe I wasn't fair enough or tall enough. I didn't think so. I thought I was decently good looking. But yeah, I'd go into auditions and I do pretty well. I landed a bunch of gigs, but I decided to pass up on them to kind of gamble, to wait for something bigger. And I don't know what it was that told me that I should wait it out and gamble for something bigger, because these were decent enough gigs. They were films that were proper medium budget feature length films. Was the lead part. And when I turned them down, these producers would turn around and be like, "You're crazy. What's wrong with you? How can you? I mean, isn't this what you are working for? Isn't this kind of
So,
thing?"
what
that
was
you
it that
want?"
stopped you? What was it? Is a voice in the head? Or what?
I have no idea. It's just, I really have no idea. I don't know. I mean, looking back, if Band Baja Barat had not happened, I'd probably be 27 looking back and said, "Man, I should have taken those
parts.
gigs when I had them. Those producers were right." But it worked out, you know.
Right at the beginning of my career, when I began, Mahesh Bhatta told me something which was very interesting, is that creative people only excel when they are unafraid to make a fool of themselves. And I see that capacity and that courage in you a lot more than I see in your contemporaries. Aren't you ever worried what will be said about you when you do something?
I think it's just a matter of the mind, you know, where I'm like, man, whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to be honest in. I'm going to do it sincerely. I from the very beginning, ever since I was a kid, I never had any inhibitions. I was very uninhibited, besharam, nanga type, you know. And I feel like if I operate from the right place in my heart and soul, that there's nothing to worry about or regret, you know. It will connect to people, and some people it won't connect, and I'm not worried about that. You know that there's a great line in that song in Aankhein, in बड़े काम का बंदर. Do you know that line? No. जो दे उसका भी भला, जो ना दे उसका भी भला, बड़े काम का बंदर, मारे तो धर्मिंदर, नाचे तो जितेंद्र, रोए तो राजिंदर, और से देखो हर हीरो की खूबी इसके अंदर. And now I'm working with Govinda, man. How crazy is that?
Yeah, I know. That must have been like a fabulous experience.
Totally trippy.
This whole energetic and excited image that you have, I mean, it's not an image actually, that's who you are. Has it ever happened that your excitement has sort of come across as overfamiliarity to some people in the business and they felt offended by the fact that...
Maybe, but then that's a matter of perception, you know. It's how they perceive me. I'm really being honest, and I am an expressive person. I express affection very easily. I am, by the general standard, very generous with compliments.
I've seen you at parties also. You come in with full energy, you engage with the aunties, you talk to everybody, you
I
make
love
things,
aunties.
You love aunties.
And aunties love me.
Yes, I've seen that.
I love interpersonal interaction. I love being in large crowds. This whole mob thing, it really excites me. And
yeah,
yes.
and your latest Bang Bang challenge, which has been like which has gone viral and which is like
gone viral.
And, I mean, how did you think of it?
I don't know how I thought of it. Actually, Hrithik tweeted that you should do this. Yeah. I thought getting out of the car and taking a still picture will be a bit boring. I was like, "Chal, let's make it entertaining. I'll dance." I'm going to dance. Which song should I do? Then I thought of Aisa Kyun? Because if you're going to dance in public, the appropriate song for that is Main Aisa Kyun. Then I said, yeah, what will the look be? So I said, let me do it in a Krish costume. But then when I put it on, I was like, this is going to be fun. So I called my friend, my best friend Karan Kapoor, who shot the Durex commercial for me. We tried one at the main signal and it didn't work. It was too chaotic. And then we were like, chal, we'll take one round and go back and try again. And we were on Linking Road heading towards the main Bandra signal. He was like, chal, do it over here. So I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? He was like, yeah, do it. So he got out just like that, did it. There happened to be a cop there who everybody thinks is a bloody plant. It was crazy. In fact, I met Ritik at Mehboob studio today and he was so happy with it. And that was really the whole point of it.
Yeah, that was the idea, yeah.
Because he's given me so much inspiration and joy through what he does.
This thing about doing cool, like even your condom ad was something that was very I mean, no one had done it. But where do these ideas come from? Why would you do them? I mean, there is, of course, a career that is going in a certain direction, which is like rise and rise. And then suddenly out of the blue, there is this quirky thing.
I have to shake things up to keep myself amused. I like to do things jisme phatti hai, you know, because if it's not scaring the shit out of me, then it's either too easy or it's not going to... I like to play high stakes in everything. An example of that would perhaps be Bajirao Mastani, which again I am shitting bricks about.
Because you're going to shave your head of hair.
But it's one of those things where it's going to take an entire year or more to shoot. Where I have to go become a skinhead, take all my hair off.
That's scary.
Where I have to play this character who is distinctive, whose life has been chronicled. It's basically इस चीज को करने में मेरी फट रही है, and that's the one to go for, you know, because that's what's going to keep you on your toes. It's going to keep you alive. It's a big risk. And at this stage, to give more than a year to one film, to take off all my hair, which means I can't do anything for a year and a half other than this, it is a risky proposition. But I know that what this director, Mr. Bhansali, is going after is legacy.
And you worked with him in his earlier film.
He's my champ.
Yeah, so I'm sure that would make it slightly easier.
I love him. He's a different animal altogether, man. You know, and he doesn't about anything, anyone other than his film. And I love that. He doesn't allow himself to be bound by worldly commercial considerations like schedules, budgets. He wants to, get out. Somebody comes to him with a schedule. He's like, we're making a movie. He indulges me and I love that.
Is there ever a day in Ranveer Singh's life when he feels like, no, today is a low day, I don't feel like doing anything and I'm just going to hide from the world and just... Does it ever happen?
No.
Never?
I mean, I feel sad and I feel low and a bit depressed and I get tired at times. You know, I'm growing older. I'm not like, I'm not 18 and 19 years old anymore also. It's a very deeply ingrained tick in me that says, there is no tomorrow. During Lutera, for instance, I broke my back. And I was lying in bed and I was like, shit, what just happened? Like, here I was planning my next movie and I'm thinking ahead and what's gonna happen, and now I don't have a back and I can't stand on my feet. And then, you know, I took the rehab very seriously. I was doing 6 hours of rehabilitation for 3.5 months to get back. But I knew I had to, otherwise there's no career, no movies, no nothing. Then I had dengue during Gunde, where I had actually picked up one of the most serious strains of dengue at the time, and this is like last year when there was dengue all over, not just Bombay, but the country. And the doctors were like, man, you were at an incredible level of fitness, which is why you were able to fend this illness off. Otherwise, you were in the ICU battling for your life. So I keep getting these timely reminders of the fragility of life. Aaj hai, kal nahi hai. Khuda na khasta aisa ho, I could be here at this restaurant right now. I'd go and sit in my car and who knows what the hell will happen, you know.
For somebody who comes from outside, it is always a little uncomfortable to fit in. Did you feel that at all?
There are times when I feel like I am an outsider. When you're hanging out with a bunch of people who've been born into the industry and you see the camaraderie and the number of years that they go back, you know, they go back a long time. That's when you sort of feel, well, you know, I'm new to this place. But I would say, look at the flip side. I come in with a clean slate, you know, without any baggage. That this person that I'm interacting with has not ever interacted with my father or my mother, and is approaching me as a new entity altogether. So when I landed on the set of Band Baja Barat, everything was new. Anushka was very helpful. You know, she had already done a couple of movies, so she'd tell me, okay, that's the sound guy. He's gonna stand exactly where he's standing, and he's gonna hold this thing like this. And no, you don't have to project into it. It will catch whatever you're saying. There was literally that basic, because I had no experience whatsoever. So even the craft of acting, even the matter of being a public figure, all these things I had to learn as things went along, and it took time, but I pick up fast.
Like you said, you have a very, very strong bond with Sanjay Bhansali as well. So at times like this, when you choose a film like Bajirao Mastani over Shuddhi, because there was talks that you would be doing Shuddhi for Karan Johar, and then you... How do you balance that thing? Was it crystal clear that no, here's my loyalty and here's my friendship and here's my...
I actually, when Bajirao was offered to me, there was no other film offered to me. So I agreed to do Bajirao, you know, regardless of any other consideration. Karan is somebody who I would love to work with. You know, he is probably one of the biggest and best producers of all time. So yeah, given the opportunity in the right circumstance, I would love to do. I'm waiting for it. I think it would be a badge of honor and quite an achievement for me to be in a Dharma film.
And you know, you have had a very clean, good boy image so far. Like you've not gotten into brawls, you've not had controversies which have really hounded you in the newspapers where it has gone on for weeks. There's one area which, of course, a lot of people speak about, which is your link-ups. I think you're a ladies' man.
Link-ups. No, nothing people write about me bothers me anymore. I hardly even pay attention to them.
Oh, I like the way you said anymore, which means
Yeah,
there was a pause.
of course. Are you kidding? After when like I said, that the first taste of being a public figure, that's when it was really difficult, man. But they write a lot of shit, and you know, you'd read it, and it would upset me to no degree, and I want to beat that journalist up. My parents are reading that, my family is reading that, and that's wrong. And you're making the whole world, everybody I go out and interact with, think a certain way about a certain thing about me, and that's not true.
So how open are you about speaking about your relationships in print or in public?
That's something I don't like to discuss. The romantic relationships, family life, these are things that I consciously want to protect, because there are things that are meant for public consumption and then there aren't. And certainly romantic relationships fall into the
But then how do you prevent misinformation? Because there is a lot of talk going on about your relationship with Deepika right now. Even that is in the realm of, I presume, your private space. But there's so much written about it. How do you deal with that?
I just don't deal with it.
You don't read it? It doesn't come...
I don't care, and I really let it go and I let it pass. I don't encourage it. I don't propagate it. But if it's there, it's there, you know. It's happening. It's not in my control. I'm not about to go strangle the journalist who wrote such and such thing.
When there are controversies surrounding, like for instance, recently there was a controversy with Deepika versus a very big publication. Do you ever have like a point of view on issues like this, which you express?
I expressed it on Twitter as soon as she tweeted about it. I tweeted back that I'm very proud of her for having stood up for something that's absolutely shit thing to do, because so many instances where it happens and you let it pass. You know, it's like it's one of those things in the chalta hai attitude that's so prevalent. She stood up and she spoke against it, and everybody voiced, you know, stood behind her, and the kind of support that she got was delightful to see. So I'm really happy that she made that kind of point so clear and out there.
So Ranveer, OLX.in is a website where you can sell whatever you wish to. So we are giving your fans an opportunity to own something that you have owned before. So we had said that you should get something for us. What is
something that I'm closely connected with. So what I have got is my coffee mug.
Oh, wow.
Which my loyal coffee mug that has been with me through Gunde and Ram Leela and Lutera, and it's seen a lot of places and a lot of things happen. It's got a dent also, which it picked up at some point. So my favorite coffee mug, and along with that, this has been a recent acquisition because I keep breaking these mugs. This is a pop art cup, which pop art is my favorite school of design. All these fancy colors and all, I love.
So that's wonderful. And now you'll have to sign it for us.
Coffee is the secret of my energy. Yes.
Our energy. So here, you'll have to sign it for the lucky person who's going to... Now we'll sell these mugs on olx.in and the viewers can buy it from there. And the proceeds of that will go to charity.
How nice. Drink and fly.
Wow, that's a good one. Good. So now my narcissistic moment on the show, which is the Betty Mix Look Who's Talking selfie moment.
I love selfies. मेरे पिया गए रंगून किया है वहाँ से टेलीफोन तुम्हारी याद सताती है वायरल ये तो होने वाला है वायरल जस्ट चिल I wish you would come see me, baby. I wish you would come see me, baby. I wish you would come see me, baby. You know I get so lonely.
Selling has never been easier. Download the OLX application, click a picture of your product and upload. Select the category of your product. Enter your details and just click on sell. So what are you waiting for? OLX पे बेच दे.